Welcome back to Instables, everyone. Welcome to Breakfast with Bulls. I'm going to go to the top 5 stocks that I am long in and exactly how I'm playing into each one of them. So let's jump right into this one. So the first long play I'm going to go with you guys here is CCIV. I have been mentioning this one since around $18, and this one has been on quite the run now. CCIV has been on a little bit of a sell-off the last few days, but however, we have been mentioning how the 20 MA is still above the 50, showing us that we could bounce off the 20 MA here and continue on forward. So again, in my opinion, Lucid Motors is very bullish. If they happen to sell off, like I said, I've always mentioned this, that if they happen to sell off below all these levels, I still would continue to buy more. In my opinion, Lucid Motors is very bullish, and my price target by the end of the year is at least $30. I know that is not much from around $25, but however, in my opinion, I think that's very conservative. I think it could easily break over this 33 mark that we do need it to break over. Again, that 33 mark is very key. We can see our rejection that we did get here, and we also did get exactly rejected at this point before we did get our huge sell-off, and then we bounced trying to test these levels again. Again, we got that rejection, and then right here, you guys can see this consolidation before that breakout. So again, 33.02 is very key for us. So again, CCIV, in my opinion, is very long. Like I said, I don't care if it does sell off. That is why I want to mention these long plays. These are the type of plays that even if they do sell off, I'll continue to buy more of them because I know that they're going to go up in the future for sure, in my opinion. Again, this is not a recommendation or financial advice, but this is my opinion, and this is what I'm doing. So again, CCIV, in my opinion, is very long. In my opinion, is going to definitely skyrocket within the next year. And I think a lot of us are going to be very surprised that we could have had this one at $25 in the future. So again, CCIV, definitely long on this. So the next one is another EV company, and I do like NIO as a long play here. Again, we have been mentioning this one for the last few months, and again, we did mention this one as an ascending wedge here that we did have, and again, we did have that huge breakout from around $46 coming up to around $66. So again, we had that huge breakout that we did mention in the beginning of the year or towards the end of the year last year, but again, we do see that we have been on quite the sell-off since then, but however, we have a very key resistance that we've been talking about that we do need to break above at some point at 46.03, and it looks like we are coming up and testing that level. Now, we do like how the 20 MA is crossing above the 50 here, showing us that bullish momentum to have that possible continuation breakout. But however, we do need to break above this 46.03 mark because again, we did get rejected exactly at this point when we did bounce back, and it looks like we did get our continuation sell off from then. And again, you can see we had that bounce play back here again with the 20 MA above the 50, and you can see that we did have consolidation before this breakout back here. So again, it is very key that we do break over 46.03. We have been mentioning this resistance as a very key resistance, and I did mention this one yesterday. I want to mention this again because this is one of my favorite long plays. And what I mean by that is if NIO happens to sell off and break down into lower lows, this is one of the companies that I would continue to buy into because I know that they're like the Tesla of China. And of course, they're going to have a great breakout at some point. In my opinion, I love these prices. I think the market's been beat down for quite a while, and the market has been recovering pretty nicely. We're having a lot better market conditions now. And I think that NIO is a great long play, even if these prices, but again, since the 20 MA was crossing above the 50, that would be the entry point for me, of course. But however, again, we are testing this 46.03 mark. If we can hold above it, then we can easily have a tight stop loss right below this 46.03 mark if we were playing conservative. But again, I do like NIO as a long play. And the next one I'll go over with you guys here is PLTR. Again, PLTR, in my opinion, has been on quite the breakout. We have had this descending wedge that we mentioned for quite a while. And again, we have our bull flag that we did have, but however, we extend that bull flag down here, showing us that descending wedge that we are creating. And it looks like we are breaking out of it. We did mention how it was breaking out of it, but however, we needed this 20 MA to cross above the 50. And it looks like the 20 MA is crossing above the 50. We're going to be testing these levels here at 24.72 because this is very key. We got rejected multiple times exactly at this point. You guys can see all this rejection that we had. And again, we had this bounce play right here exactly at these points. And you guys can see we had multiple bounce plays exactly at these points. We needed to break above it, and we did. And then we had these huge breakouts. And then we kept getting rejected at their next resistance here at 28.87. So again, 28.87 is our breakout point. But again, PLTR is a long play. And again, what I mean by that is if they were to sell off even more, I would continue to buy more. And in my opinion, I think PLTR on the long play is going to have their bullish momentum play at some point or another. Again, we have been talking about this one since they broke out and they had their earnings that took them down to around 1750 and the market was selling off. But however, we did mention how they did have bullish divergence and they did look like they were going to reverse, and it looks like we are reversing. So again, we need to hold over this 24.72 mark to give us more bullish momentum. Again, we do like the 20 MA here and the candles bouncing off of it, and we need this to continue and possibly touch this 28.87 mark. And if we can, then we could possibly have a breakout from there. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if we came up here and then we get rejected, we came back down, and then we broke out from there. So again, in my opinion, PLTR, an amazing long play. They do have government contracts. And again, I do like that as a very solid backbone to this company, in my opinion. So the next one I'm going to go over with you guys here is AMD. And the reason I'm going to go over the AMD with you guys is because we have been mentioning them as a great long play, and they have been consolidating. It looks like we've been on a sell-off. We came up. It looks like the 20 MA is crossing over the 50 again. Again, we did see this previously, and it looks like we did get rejected. We had a sell-off here. So again, AMD, in my opinion, is a great long play. And again, what I mean by that is if they were to sell off, then I would continue to buy more. But again, this is a very key level that we do need to stay above here at 72 to avoid any gap down that we had from gapping up previously. So again, AMD, in my opinion, is a great long play. I do think that AMD is going to have their point in time where they do run. And again, they are taking a lot of Intel's shares. So in my opinion, there's a lot of investors that are coming from Intel over to AMD. This has been the conversation for the last few years. And again, AMD has been on quite the breakout. You guys can see overall, we have been continuing to break out over and over. You guys can see that we broke out, we had consolidation, we broke out, we had consolidation. So again, this one is a slower mover. But again, if you guys are trying to play a safer long play, like I said, this is one of my favorite plays. And I do believe that they'll break over 100 and hold over 100 by the end of this year or by the beginning of next year. But again, AMD has been consolidating. As long as our economy doesn't completely crash, then in my opinion, we'll definitely have a great breakout with AMD. So the last one I'm going to go with you guys here is Charging Point. And again, I want to go over Charging Point because they are an EV charging company. So we do have two very key levels that I do want to mention. And again, we do have the 20 MA holding above the 50 here, showing us that bullish momentum to give us that possible breakout. And also you guys can see here that the EMA lines are above the MACD, showing us that possible continuation. So again, we're going to be looking for this one to hold above 28.54. Again, 28.54 is very key for us because we did have multiple sell-offs exactly at this point. We could not hold these levels and we continue to sell off. And again, that next breakout point that we do need here is at 32.48. Again, 32.48 because we did come up and we got rejected when we did have that bounce play. And again, we could not hold these levels previously, which gave us that huge sell-off all the way down to around $19. So again, holding over 28.54 going into this week is very key, and breaking over 32.48 is very key to give us that bullish momentum we're looking for to test this next resistance again at this consolidation that we did have when we began to sell off at 39.48. So again, 39.84, I'm sorry. We do need to break over 39.84 ultimately. But again, breaking over 28.54 and holding above it, and then breaking over 32.48 going into the next month is very key for us to give us that bullish momentum. But again, like I said, EV charging companies are very bullish on the long run. And again, these are my top 5 long plays. And if you guys are looking for penny stock breakouts, if you guys do day trades, intradays, again, this is not financial advice, but if you guys want to see all these penny stock breakouts throughout the day, go to instabulls.com, click Become a Bull, and you guys can see all these breakouts throughout the day. And again, if you guys have been supporting the channel, you guys been in the comment section, much love to you guys. I appreciate every one of you guys as always. God bless you guys. And if you guys do like this video, it does help other people find it and it does help the channel grow. And I do appreciate it very much. And if you guys did last till the end of this video, I do want to mention there's one stock that I am long in, and I'm not heavy on it. So don't think that I'm heavy on it, but one that I am long on is I do like Doge, and I'll see you guys in the next video.